Cycling for me has never been about the bikes. They've only ever been the prerequisite tool. I do not see just a bike race, I see riders on heroic journeys and warriors doing battle. At one point, cycling was the most popular sport in Europe because newspapers told magnificent tales about epic races and crafted the great champions into legends. But with the advent of television, cycling lost some of its mystique, and that golden age of journalism and narration has perished. So now let us try to return some romance to the beautiful sport. Let us praise and give glory to phenomenal performances to be remembered for decades to come. Let us dwell on the moments that inspire and move us. Let us chronicle the rise and fall of heroes. Let us chart these life-changing journeys, these cycling odysseys. All right, welcome back to another episode of Cycling Odysseys. I'm your host, Patrick Santino. So today I'm going to keep this one quick because this was not my favorite stage of the tour. So we're just going to get through it, and I'll probably have a few comments afterwards. But yeah, this is just, one of the episodes we just got to do because this stage was part of the tour, so we got to go through it. But wasn't my favorite. Frustration at the Tour. Tour de France 2020, Stage 11, Châtillon-Plage to Poitiers, 167.5 kilometers. Ewan wins stage. Race officials decide to expand Bennett's points lead with controversial ruling. We all had a long day ahead of us, or had just finished up one as we sat down to watch the sprint into Poitiers. Coming off the feel-good stage yesterday, we were hoping for something similar today. Could Sam Bennett of DeQuint Quickstep double up stages and take a win in the town where his mentor, the legendary Sean Kelly, won his first Tour de France stage? And what about the green jersey competition? Peter Sagan of Bora Hansgrohe did not look half bad yesterday. He finished a highly respectable third place. Might he be coming back onto form at the perfect time? It was a long, flat day, no threat of wins, so might as well watch the replay of the intermediate sprint, then catch the final kilometers. The intermediate sprint was taken by the lone breakaway rider, Matthew Langadaugas of Groupama FDJ, leaving 17 points available to whoever crossed the line in second. The intermediate sprint was a rather dull affair where Sam Bennett in green took 17 points. His leadout man, Michael Morkov of DeQuint Quickstep, actually took third place behind Bennett to eat up points that Sagan, finishing fourth, could have had. Bennett's points lead lengthened. Then, dear readers, let us fast forward to the finish. In the final 6 kilometers, Sagan's teammate Lucas Postelberger, obviously of Bora Hansgrohe, launched a daring stealer attack reminiscent of the 1K flyer he accidentally launched to win Stage 1 of the 2017 Giro. Interestingly, Sam Bennett's teammates, Bob Jungels and Casper Asgreen, both of DeQuint Quickstep, bridged to Postelberger. The three rode on, forcing Caleb Ewan's Lotto Soudal teammates to chase them down. All three were caught by 2 kilometers to go, but Ewan was already down to just one man on the front. The run-in was weird. No team really wanted to take the lead-out reins. Finally, in the last 400 meters, Wout van Aert, who had been let off the leash by his Jumbo-Visma team, came surging to the front. Bennett and Ewan lurking behind. At 200 meters to go, Van Aert launched the sprint. It was a clean straight line on the front side of the road. On his left came Bennett in green, drawing even, but around him also came Ewan. Meanwhile, despite his large size, Sagan was sneaking up the barriers on Wout van Aert's right side, coming from a long way back. Oh, it was a close call. Sagan certainly nudged Van Aert as he came up, but who would take it? All four were looking good on the line. Oh, a photo between all four. All four with the bike throw. Look at that arrangement, dear readers. It was a beautiful sprint. Bravo to Sagan, bouncing back after struggling that first week. And Bennett, he was close. Did he win like King Kelly of old? I think Van Aert was close, but clear fourth. Ewan probably took it, though. Yes, there are the results. Ewan, Sagan, really, wow. Bennett, Van Aert. Well, Sagan surely must be coming on to form. And with that second place, he shall close the gap on green to Bennett. As our commentator, Simon Gerrans, has just declared, this was the best sprint of the tour so far. These were the thoughts, dear readers, watching the replays and seeing the initial standings. But they were denied to us. Alas, dear readers, Sagan was relegated for his nudging and bumping with Van Aert along the barriers. He was placed at the back of the sprinting peloton in 85th place. Now, Dear readers, I am not here to give my judgment whether his move was so dangerous it was worthy of relegation. I cannot formulate any opinion of my own. In such matters, I feel judgment must be conferred singularly to current and former sprinters who have experienced situations like this one firsthand and then have thoroughly analyzed the current replay. What looks like fierce headbutts or flaring elbows to the average viewer may not actually be so violent at such high speeds. Much of the barging and nudging are only knee-jerk reactions in order to stay upright, or are the nature of the beast that is sprinting. I will say, seeing Sagan come up that close to the right side barriers eerily reminded me of Fabio Jakobsen's of Deceuninck Quickstep's hideous crash at the Tour of Poland 1 month ago, the worst crash I have ever seen, quite frankly. I sincerely advise the readers not to look it up. But I still don't even understand who comprises the jury in such decisions. Are they officials who work for the Tour de France, or officials from the UCI, cycling's governing body? Are they judging just the isolated safety of this sprint on its own, or are they involving the optics of the situation, and do recent events weigh in on their decision-making as well? Have any of them ever sprinted in a bike race before? Seriously, I feel that is a necessary condition, because not everything is as violent as it seems from the TV. This is something only experienced people should attempt to make judgment calls on. But, dear readers, in this situation, I shall not even consult the expert sprinters' opinions, because I am not interested in any opinions on whether this was a fair or cheap play this time. I do not care that Wout cried foul. It's expected when he finishes in a lower place. I haven't even looked up reactions from Sagan's camp. I am simply and plainly frustrated that such a good sprint is now marred by the controversy, and that this is the only topic for the rest of the day. I hate relegations and penalties like this one, dear readers. I hate that now, for the next 24 hours, all we will be discussing is the worthiness of the relegation, even though the decision is final and we all must move on. This is also why I never bothered to understand who those officials are and who they work for, because what does it matter? The decision is final. But what I hate most, dear readers, is that I saw a coming out to form Peter Sagan remarkably rising to the occasion as everyone was counting him out to keep the green jersey competition very tight. And now, instead of keeping the competition around a 15-point difference, the gap is somewhere around 60 or 70 points, which is perhaps insurmountable for anyone. Obviously, dear readers, when Sagan was relegated, he lost the 30 points he was going to receive for second place, while Bennett now gains the 30. Geez, seriously, dear readers, endings like these, where someone changes the result I saw, drive me up a wall. It is one thing when everyone with eyeballs calls foul immediately, like in the Jakobsen crash, or in the dark days of old when a doping test was failed and the result needed to be stripped. But here, without any popular consensus or experienced consensus, the committee steps in and decides the outcome of the race instead of the athletes themselves. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It is sickening. Dear readers, if you have been keeping up with my reports, you know that Wout and Sagan are two of my favorite riders, and Bennett is continuing to soar up the rankings as well. So I really don't have a dog in this fight about whether Sagan should have been relegated or not. I simply want to see an exciting race decided by the riders, which doesn't mean the officials shouldn't officiate, but they should make their presence as minimized as possible. With this controversial relegation, I do not believe they are minimizing their presence. It was probably these same officials that irrationally completely disqualified and booted Sagan from the 2017 Tour for a similar incident in a sprint, and that, dear readers, was my least favorite tour I have ever seen. It was ruined and became boring because officials overstepped their boundaries and decided the race. This scenario isn't bad because maybe Sagan was being too dangerous and deserved a penalty, but maybe also this committee just decided the winner of the green jersey instead of Peter Sagan and Sam Bennett. Perhaps as a warning of disapproval, but without deciding the race, this committee could have heavily fined Sagan instead. Dear readers, I finish by saying that I pray greatly that Sagan harnesses this incident as motivation to heroically come back from this deficit to win his 8th green jersey. I love the Sam Bennett fairy tale, and he is a worthy adversary, and I wish him the best. But now I root for Sagan because I feel this committee or jury may have screwed over the best man. As in, made the best man win. Words I accuse the jury of not believing in when they assert themselves in such a way. I don't know, dear readers. I'm sure this will be my worst report yet. As I say in the title, I am deeply frustrated and scatterbrained because I cannot even tell if Sagan was in the wrong, nor do I care. And instead of talking about the riders, we are now talking about some shadow committee we know nothing about who potentially just decide the green jersey points competition for us. It is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, I will now watch the replay of today's stage of Torino Adriatico, what always turns out to be one of the most mediocre races on the calendar, as a rebound. The only thing the race between the two C's has going for it are its blue leaders jersey and the massive Golden Triton trophy awarded to the winner. But seriously, any bike race without a disqualification will be better than the crap we saw today. All right, so that was the stage. I hate relegations. I really, really hate relegations, but that's the way it goes. Maybe it was deserved, whatever. Don't even like rehashing it. I think I'm going to keep this one as short as I can. Follow me on Twitter at Cycling Odysseys, cyclingodysseys.com for the blog posts, cyclingodysseys@gmail.com to send me an email. And subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Episodes are going to continue to come out fast. I think this is the first of 2 for today, which is also another reason I'm keeping this one short. So yeah, check it all out. More to come. Man, season's getting underway. I'll have to write about the early season soon and what we can expect when the season really gets underway, with hopefully opening weekend is a go in Belgium at the end of February. That's what we're really looking forward to. All right, talk to you guys all later. Thanks for listening. Vive le cyclisme.